But the problem is a lot of business owners are just throwing spaghetti at the wall, any type of action, hoping that it stick, and it still ain't sticking because you stuck. That's what you don't want to do, right? If you're at the same place next year that you are this year, could it be that you didn't do what you're supposed to do as a CEO? Oh, did I step on your toes? Did I step on them? Oh, I hope I did. Welcome to another episode of the Say Yes to Profits podcast. I am your host, Octavia Conner, and I am super excited that you're joining me for this episode. Listen, Say Yes to Profits is a full service accounting firm focused on you, boo. If you are a service-based CEO and you're ready to gain the financial clarity and control so that you can maximize profits and maximize cash flow while minimizing taxes, we have the Say Yes to Profits framework that'll work just for you, okay? Now, in this episode, we're going to help you get unstuck, right? If you've ever felt like you're spinning your wheels, you're working really, really hard, but not making forward movement, let's say that you wake up every morning with a long to-do list, but no matter how much you check off, it feels like you're barely scratching the surface to success. Like you truly feel like I should be further than I am right now, right? You are generating revenue, but it's not sustaining your business, right? And there's a negative sense that you're busy, but are you really productive? And are you really profitable? The goals that you set months ago seem so far away. And again, you set them months ago. Does this sound familiar? Many service-based CEOs find themselves at some point in this position, or maybe you've plateaued in revenue and every month and every year it feels like a race, but yet you're staying in the same place. Oh, I've been there, okay? Or perhaps your business is growing, but it's chaotic. It's stuff everywhere. Like you're constantly putting out fires instead of having the time to build a system. You find yourself asking, why does it feel like I'm working super hard, but my bank account is not reflecting that, right? Or what's the point in putting in all of this effort if I find myself stressed, if I find myself without enough cash flow, if I find myself not being able to take a break? Is that you? Does that sound familiar, sis? Or maybe, gentlemen, you feel like you're doing everything you know to do as well, and yet nothing is going in the forward movement. Here's what I can tell you. Being stuck, it doesn't just drain your energy. It can make you second guess your decisions and your vision. Like you can feel as if you're walking on quicksand, and every step that you take is another effort forward, but you're in the same position, or you're sinking lower and lower and lower and lower and lower, and you're like, what's going on, right? And when you try to look ahead, it's like staring into a fog, right? And you don't know how to get out of it. You don't know what path to take. You know that picture where you're just kind of, you're standing there and there are several paths to go down and you're like, I don't know which one to go down. And then you go down a path that you thought you should have went down and yet you're still in the same place, or you find yourself having to turn around. Ever felt like that before? Well, I want to give you a strategy to help you get unstuck in business. So let's go on over to the Vive board so I can break this down for you so you can gain the clarity that you need and start building the momentum in your business. So I want you to grab a notebook, because as we go over this on the Vive board, I want you to leave me questions and comments so you can say, that was the episode, girl, that did it. That was the episode that got me unstuck. Come on now, let's go on over to the Vive board. The first thing that I need you to understand is that strategic growth isn't about working harder, okay? Let's get that perfectly clear. A lot of business owners think, well, if I work super uber duper hard, then I'm gonna make it to that next level, when really what you may just do is burn yourself out. So strategic growth isn't about working harder. It's about working smarter. And so you want to make sure that you have the strategies and the systems that you need to really bridge the gap between where you are and where you desire to be, right? Strategic growth is all about getting clear on the next correct path that you must take. You may be working as hard as you need to, but you're not taking the right paths. You're not making the right money moves, as I like to say, in order to get to that next level. Okay. And so we want to be strategic on the right path to take. And so let's go over the right path for you to take. So, what I want you to do first to get unstuck, I want you to take an honest, non emotional look at your business, right? And at yourself as a CEO. And so, step one consists of asking yourself, where am I now? Where are you in your business? Are you where you thought you would be during this year, during this time? Are you not where you thought you would be? What is your revenue and profit levels? Have you had a high tax bill in the past? Have you achieved the goals that you desired to achieve? Like, where are you right now? And sometimes this can be the hardest thing to do, to take a non emotional, honest look at where you are. But sometimes, you all, this can be the best thing ever for you to get to that next level. Get honest with yourself. I like to say, hold a mirror up and be like, girl, okay, guy, where am I right now? Many successful entrepreneurs are struggling. They're wrestling with these challenges. Inconsistent cash flow that makes it impossible to scale. Financial reports that are confusing, or worse, non-existing. And then taxes and profits that you're like, oh, I want to generate a profit, but I got to pay taxes. I'm not receiving a CEO salary. Like, I just don't know what to do. If you're experiencing this, I want to invite you to the Say Yes to Profits Masterclass. This is a free, live, virtual event designed to help you turn your financial chaos into financial confidence, clarity, and control. We're going to deep dive into your cash, your commas, and your coins during an intimate, no fluff conversation that will allow you to walk away with tangible results. Like, listen, I'm going to show you how to master your finances, how to maximize cash flow, how to minimize your taxes so that you confidently say yes to profits. You want to register today by going to sayyes2profits.com/masterclass. Sayyes2profits.com/masterclass. And so, in order to do this, here's what I want you to do. I want you to say what has worked, right? Or what is working. And then I want you to ask yourself, what is not working? And then you're going to ask yourself, why? Right? And so there are a couple of different categories that I just mentioned that you can look into when you're asking yourself this. You can say, what is working to earn revenue? What is working to generate a profit? And when you think about earning revenue, you want to think about your sales and marketing strategy. You want to think about your closing ratio, right? You want to think about your ideal client or target market. People call them different things. What is working for you and what is not working, okay? When you think about generating revenue, you want to think about your cash reserve or your saving strategy. Do you have that in place, right? You also want to ask yourself, in another category, taxes. Have you had a high tax bill? You want to think about your team. Has the people that have been working for you, are they riding the clock or are they a great team member? What is working? What is not working and why? And here are some of the categories. You also want to ask yourself, as the CEO, what am I doing? What am I not doing? And get clear on this. Write this down, record yourself as you're speaking, because this is the starting point to really making the next best move or going down the next best profit path in your business. So again, where am I now? Step one, okay? Now, for step 2, you're going to ask yourself, where do I want to be? Where do I want to be? And so the way that you get clear on this is not just, oh, I want this amount of revenue, right? I want this amount of profit. I want to achieve this amount of goals. You need to ask yourself, am I where I desired I would be during this time? If I am not, is that where I want to be? What would my life look like? Not just my business, because as a CEO, you want to build a business that gives you the life that you desire, right? But you need to get clear on that CEO life or your personal life, your family life and vacation and lifestyle for your kids and your relatives and things like that. Like, get clear on that part. And when you ask yourself where you want to be, sometimes you have to do something very critical. You have to give yourself permission to be successful, whatever that looks like for you. And then also, you need to forgive all of the mistakes, because we can allow our mistakes, our failure to hold us back instead of learning from them, right? And so again, this is taking that honest look so that you can really get down the right profit path to your next level of success. So step 2 is asking yourself, where do I want to be? Now that you are clear on where you are right now and where you want to be, now it's time to get the work done. And so for step 3, you're going to do an exercise that I absolutely love. For all of our fractional CFO core and elite clients, we go through this exercise that I'm about to show you several times during the year, because sometimes you got to just take a pause and you have to ask yourself, what must I start? What must I stop? And what must I continue? Right? So where are you now? Where you want to be? And then what must you start to get to where you want to be? What must you stop to get to where you want to be? And what must you continue to get to where you want to be? And I want you to look at a couple of different categories when you do this. And I mentioned some of them before. You're first going to start with the personal. And so outside of earning revenue, what is your mental health like, right? What is your physical health like? Like for me, y'all, I've been trying to lose weight forever, but your girl likes to eat. But I'm getting it together this year, okay? If you see me, hold me accountable. But when you think about that personal thing, what lifestyle you want your family to live? Like, do you want to be able to go on a vacation with your spouse, take your kids on an exotic trip or something like that? Like, what personal success, what community give back do you want to have, right? So you want to get clear on that, because you need to identify what must you start to get there, what must you stop to get there, what must you continue. And then once you get clear on those, you go to the business side. And now under the business, you could think about your revenue. You could think about the number of clients you want. You could think about the ideal team members that you want, right? Have you had team members that you didn't need or didn't want, or they really just didn't align with your core values? You can think about your profit. You can think about your taxes, right? You can think about your long-term business success, okay? And so now you're mapping out, what must I start? What must I stop? And what must I continue to bridge the gap between where I am and where I want to be? Once we've went over all of those 3 steps, the final step for you, which is step 4, is about what, you all? I need you to take massive actions or action. Okay. So if you've done the work and you know what you need to start, you know what you need to stop, you know what you need to continue, it is up to you to take the action to get you to that next level. is not going to work if you don't work it. You're the CEO of your company. You're responsible for getting your company to the next level. And that does not mean you have to work extra hard to do it. You have to work strategically. But the problem is a lot of business owners are just throwing spaghetti at the wall, any type of action, hoping that it stick, and it still ain't sticking because you stuck. That's what you don't want to do, right? You want to be strategic in your growth. And so if you've realized what you need to start it, and then track it, and then adjust according to the results. If you realize what you need to stop, give yourself 30 days to stop that, or 60 days to stop that, or whatever reasonable to stop it, but stop it. If you realize what you need to continue, then move forward in that in a massive way so that when you do this exercise again, you're able to say, oh, I stopped that and got X results. Oh, I started that and got X results. I continued that and got Y results. Like that is how you strategically grow your company. What do you need to start? What do you need to stop? What do you need to continue? And then take massive action. Let me know what questions and comments you have about this, okay? So that you can begin to implement this ASAP. If you're at the same place next year that you are this year, could it be that you didn't do what you're supposed to do as a CEO? Oh, did I step on your toes? Did I step on them? Oh, I hope I did. And I hope that makes you do the work, period. Okay? So here's the truth. When you take massive actions, I also need you to create milestones and deadlines for what you must accomplish. And if you are feeling stuck, it isn't a sign that you have failed. It is a sign that you are on the verge of a breakthrough. But the key is to move forward with taking control of your directions and being intentional at making the right choices down the right path and not just doing any old thing, right? You have everything that you need to get unstuck. You have everything that you need to build a profitable, successful business of your dreams. You start by answering the 3 questions. Where are you now? Where do you want to be? And what must you start? What must you stop? And what must you continue to close that gap? That'll give you the roadmap to clarity and momentum. And the most important thing that you can do next, again, is to take actions. Be bold, be consistent, and reflect and adjust and track your every step, your every progress, and put your energy into doing the right thing, right? And I need you to remember this. You are not navigating this journey alone, right? As a fractional CFO, here at Say Yes to Profits, we are here to help you get the financial clarity and control that you need to scale strategically, to scale to a sustainable success, and to be profitable while you're doing it. If you're ready to turn this moment of being stuck into the right path to your next level of success and you want someone to really hold you accountable, then schedule your discovery session today and we will become your fractional CFO, helping you not only implement the strategy that we went over on the Vibe board, but implementing several other strategies that will enable you to never feel stuck again. All right. If you've learned anything from this episode, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button right now. Many of you are not going to subscribe or like, but you know you learned something. So if you did, definitely hit that like and subscribe button and let me know what questions you have. This is Octavia Conner, and until next time, say yes to profits. Toodles. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Say Yes to Profits podcast. Now it is time for you to make money moves. Take action based on what you learn. Now, see you on the next episode. Say Yes to Profits. Toodles.